everybody. Welcome to Rock, Paper, Hand Grenades.
No,
I am Matt Connerton, and to my right, babbling nonsensically, is the Honorable Gary
Not
S.
quite
Hopper.
nonsensically. I was actually saying things.
What were you saying?
I have no idea.
I'm in French, but he forgot to finish the count.
Yes, I was.
Oui or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you mean, we? Speak for yourself.
Well, there's two of us.
Then what
Three
comes
of
after
us.
that? Sept, huit, neuf, dix. And I always wondered about the nerf thing.
Yeah, nerf.
So like, did the French invent nerf?
It's a football.
Way more
Nerf
French
football.
than I know.
Yeah,
I just
okay.
know wee, poo, French fries.
French fries, right.
Yeah,
But-
French
But
toast.
you got to remember to
French-
gargle
you-
between every consonant.
Oh, it hurts my throat. I can't.
Crepe Suzette.
Oh, I've never met
Ooh.
Suzette.
Oh, what was that on the Saturday
So
night?
what do you call Suzette?
Crepe.
Okay.
Does she mind
That's
being
very
called
PC of you.
Yeah, I know. I am.
Yeah,
That's,
you can
I
call a
think
woman a
anybody
crepe
that's ever
on
watches
TV.
shows knows that I am politically correct. I am
Yes.
the king of political. The queen. I mean the prince. The non-gender specific royalty of political correctness.
Yes, you are. Yes.
Would you say that?
I say that all the time.
I know.
So the next time I see Suzette, I'll let her know what you feel about her. This crepe thing's just really good.
Right. Yeah. If you see Suzette, tell her I apologize if I've
Tell her to
offended
get in the kitchen and make some
Or-
crepes.
Yes. Not her necessarily.
No,
Not
no.
A female
Right,
thing.
not
We're
a right.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
Of course, yes.
So Eric Eastman is our guest today, the Honorable Eric, as he's called.
Oh, yes.
And you bet you were how many
As
terms?
rumor has it.
As rumor no. Once you're a state rep, you get the title Honorable from now on.
Oh, no. The
You'll always be
allegations of
honorable.
my honorability are greatly exaggerated.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, but you get the title. I'm not saying you deserve it.
Yeah, it's fun to throw that around, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. I was thinking of years ago of actually changing my first name from Gary to Doctor.
Do it.
Right.
Just to do it.
Just to do it.
Is
it legal?
There's paperwork involved.
It's paperwork,
though.
but
Who
then
wants
they'd
to
have
do
to be,
that?
everybody would have to call you Doctor.
Yeah. How about
Doctor.
Mad Doctor?
What?
Mad Doctor, like
Mad Doctor?
Ne-
Yeah,
necromancer
people call
or
you
something.
MD.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
So
thinking.
you could trace my first name to Mad, then my second name to Doctor. Mad Doctor Hopper.
That's actually.
That's
That
pretty
sounds
good.
like a
That sounds pretty
name
good.
of a hip hop artist or something.
Something.
It entitles you to laugh maniacally, like anytime, just randomly.
I do that. I do that anyway.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're in for a lot of that.
Yeah.
Nice hour. Yeah.
That'll be
There is
fun.
nobody that humors me more than myself.
Yeah, that's very much true.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Is that
Oh
true?
yeah.
Hey, so anyway, yesterday I was
Very
thinking,
narcissistic quality. I like that.
what was yesterday? Monday. It was Monday. That was day before yesterday. I was
Was
thinking,
it? It was.
if you steal somebody's thunder, to steal it, would you necessarily have to have an echo chamber to hold it in?
Not to steal it, not initially, but you'd have to contain it. Kind of a
How do you
Ghostbusters
contain
thing.
it? How do you contain thunder without an echo chamber?
You would
I don't
need-
know any other device that
You'd
would hold
need a
it.
thunder containment device. It would echo, I think, by definition. But
Right, see?
But
Yeah.
how heavy is it? Can you transport it? Is
The
it
echo
I
cha-
don't mean to interrupt, but can we have your guest get right back in front of the microphone?
Oh yeah, you are really far from your.
Yeah.
there you
Well,
go.
hi there.
Yeah,
You'll never find.
the guests don't want to miss a word you're saying.
Yes.
I can tell that plainly. Yeah, I can feel it emanating from the live audience.
Yes.
That appreciation as they strain to hear me.
Well, we're huge in Malaysia.
Thank you.
Yes,
That's because the people are very small.
yes, whatever works. So, Eric,
Figuratively speaking.
Yes.
I asked the Honorable Pam Tucker a question that ruined her political career.
Ruined it.
Ruined it.
My goodness. It all started with
It
you.
was that? Are you sure it was
I'm
that?
sure it was that. It was 2 days after I asked this question. She quit the race for Congress and didn't show up that much at the House anymore. So
Yeah,
I'm going to
that's-
ask you the same
I was,
question.
I was personally wounded at that
This
at
is
that absence, yeah.
right. So this is the question I asked her, and I hope you can handle it, because obviously she couldn't.
I don't know. Hit me with a fastball, baby. Let's see if I can catch.
Oh, I remember now. Yes.
What is the greatest song ever? Not objectively. I'm not talking people's opinions.
Now,
This
this
is this is
Representative
what
Tucker's
it, wait,
career.
the greatest
Okay.
song ever. Is it Anagata Davida by Iron Butterfly? Fleur de Lis by Beethoven. What was the other one?
Oh God, I don't even remember what the other one was.
Happy Birthday to You.
Okay, so this is multiple choice. This is
Oh,
not,
yeah.
this is not an essay.
I'm not throwing you under the bus here.
Oh, no, no,
This
no.
is
I prefer
this is-
essays, but I'll have to go with a multiple choice.
Or
So I have limited choices.
Whip
Let
It
me
by
see.
Devo.
You
Whip
only
It
gave Pam
by Devo.
3 choices.
I gave her.
Whip
I
It by
know.
Devo.
I agree. Yeah.
Really?
First concert I ever saw Devo.
You did?
Yeah,
No,
high
no
school, L.A., just before I moved to New Hampshire. It was kind of like Back to the Future, only like live, moving from L.A. to New Hampshire in the late 70s. Yep, saw Devo.
What do you mean by
Skateboarded
that?
to the show because I couldn't
skateboarded?
drive. Against my parents' wishes, even hitchhiked, dangerous as hell. Got into L.A., actually Redondo Beach. Saw Devo. Completely changed my life because I hadn't seen or heard anything like it. This is immediately after their Saturday Night
How
Live
old were you?
appearance when they did whatever song it was that they
How
did that
old were
freaked
you?
everyone out. 16.
16?
16.
How far away was your house from this?
Palos Verdes, which is a
Doesn't
peninsula
mean
just
anything
south
to me.
of
It's like
L.A.
20 miles,
It's
10 miles?
20-ish.
So you
Well, no,
hitchhiked and
15.
15. So you hitchhiked and skateboarded
Yeah, I had a buddy
15
with me.
miles to see the degenerates.
Couple of orange mohawk skate rats who had to go see Devo.
You had
yeah.
orange mohawk?
Once upon a time. I'll deny it, but now that it's
Well, we have
live
you
and
on
on air.
tape,
it's-
ain't it?
That's true.
I'll
That's
deny the
true.
photographs once you produce them, which you can find online.
Oh,
I
you
didn't-
can?
By the way, I didn't say that either.
No,
He
I-
says a lot of things that he doesn't say.
I didn't
Yeah.
even hear him say that.
I'm a
I heard, I saw.
I've heard it rumored that I'm a politician, Gary.
That explains.
Yeah, there's a syndrome there. It's kind of.
I can see what he's saying.
Anyway, yes.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
It's
you
got to
can
be.
see
It's
it.
got to be Whip It. It's
It's got to be Whip It?
Yeah, I'm standing by that. Even though it's going to ruin my political career too, evidently.
Yeah. Well, I don't. What did she say?
I don't even remember because I don't think you gave.
Well,
her
Inagata
the
Davida is a
same-
respectable answer, you see, because
It is.
Well,
because-
you said
Great
because of the
answer.
drum solo.
Well,
You
yeah.
like the
Not
drum
only that,
solo.
I started playing Anagata Davida.
that was a drum solo that would never end,
right.
and a concert that would never end.
I went to California on my
Yeah.
motorcycle.
Yeah.
When I left New Hampshire, I started playing Anagata Davida on my motorcycle, and it finished up when I got to Denver.
Not bad.
It's a pretty long
Not
song.
bad. Was it
That's a
live?
very long song.
Was it live or was it studio?
It was the live version.
It was live. No wonder.
Yeah.
No wonder. Yeah, their shows would go on for a little while.
Now you only gave Pam 3 choices. There it is. If you let it play through,
Yeah, keep-
by the end of the show, it might be over.
Keep Inagata Davida going for a while here. We'll riff off of that.
17 minutes.
17. Took you 17 minutes to get to Denver, huh?
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
You must have been hauling, you know what?
Yeah, it's 2,000 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
17
ways.
minutes. It's pretty quick.
That's a ways.
Yeah.
It's
You
all
ever
right.
you ever see the Simpsons episode where they're in
Must
church?
be a nice bike.
They're,
Very fast.
they're in church and they're singing "In the Garden of Eden, baby." You ever see
The
that?
Simpsons did that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, did they?
They
Yeah,
also
that works.
predicted the victory of Trump, too, didn't they?
Did
They did, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Simpsons.
Yeah, Simpsons, the most prescient show on air, or was on air.
Was.
Yeah.
Longest
They
running,
totally
I think.
predicted Trump. Yeah, I think the studio doesn't like my quips.
No,
cranking
apparently not.
the Iron Butterfly, or
No.
whatever the hell it was. Steppenwolf?
Iron Butterfly.
Iron Butterfly,
Yeah,
yeah.
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 Yeah, that was a cool song. That was a good song.
I
Sure.
guess.
Anyway, so what motive? So you were in the house for 2 years or 4? I can't recall.
I'm in the house.
You were in the house for 2 years.
Are you in the house or are you in the house?
Apparently, I'm in the house.
In the house, yo.
in the
Yeah,
house?
yeah. Or I was in the house, which
No,
means
you're
I've,
still in.
I've lost my mojo or something.
You're still in.
I am until that ball drops over Times Square on New Year's Eve. I'm
Correct.
still,
Correct.
I'm still rumored to be honorable.
You'll always be
So-
honored.
No, you'll always be honorable.
That's the
Well,
important
see,
thing.
I'm resisting this.
No, you can
It's
get
a lot of pressure. We understand.
It's a fair amount of
It's a
pressure.
title. You earned a title. It cost you a lot of money to earn
That's
that
true.
title.
So when do I have to fight again to keep the title? Because you got to defend your title.
No, you don't have to defend the title.
You
Just
don't have
Now
to
it's
defend
a
his
retire.
title.
You just retire undefeated.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much.
Wow. I don't know. That's not great PR.
No, it's not.
It's kind of like going off quietly into the night. So. When am I? Oh, you're asking
Anyways.
me why I did it?
Yeah. Why? What?
Why did I do something so gallopingly narcissistic or masochistic as run
Masochistic
for,
is more close
yeah,
to the truth.
Yeah, or both. I saw a big problem, a big disconnect between what people are thinking and what people are wanting in the neighborhoods, on the streets, part of it is your impression of what people think from silly social networking sites, and besides that, more importantly, it's what your family and friends have to say about the world. Big disconnect between those voices and what I saw occurring in state government in terms of legislation and the way things were happening. I mean, there were a couple of pet initiatives that drove me that I thought that my being legislator would put me in a better position to promote.
Right.
Like helping to bring media production, both movies and TV and digital media, into the state of New Hampshire in a more robust way.
What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't even understand that one.
Well, make movies in New Hampshire. I mean,
Okay.
they do it in Mass. They do it in a lot of other states. Georgia. There's a lot of states that have.
Now, do they have to go out of their way to like promote this, like to the movie theater, movie producers? And
It depends
say,
on how savvy and how active the film office in any given state happens to be.
Right.
How good are they at marketing their state?
Okay.
But the fact is, if you set up some fiscal incentives, even if they're based on public-private partnerships, or they're part of the tax code, or there's some type of rebate arrangement, whatever you can set up, that's going to be a carrot that you dangle to attract this kind of professional activity, the better.
Right.
And some state, it's a competitive marketplace. But these kinds of projects bring in a lot of money and a lot of cachet into a region.
Well, not only that, our biggest resource or our biggest revenue source is the tourism industry, and that can't
Without a
hurt
doubt.
tourism.
Right.
Of course not. Look, 40 years later, and I know this because I know the guy that wrote it, On Golden Pond, which was shot in New Hampshire,
Right.
and based on a fictional story that happens on a New Hampshire lake, continues to bring in tourist revenue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which is crazy, but yeah.
Squam
Yeah.
Lake continues to be
yeah.
an attractive place to people who want to come and see where there's heartfelt, meaningful story unfolded. 40 years later.
You know what's funny about that movie? So when I was a kid, I was just I don't know how old I was. I was young when that came out, and my best friend's mother wanted to take my best friend and I to a movie, and we're thinking we're gonna see, I don't know, like something Star Wars or something we somebody my age at that time would like, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna take you guys to see On Golden Pond. And my friend Billy and I were kind of like, oh, really? That doesn't look like something that kids would like.
Right, right.
But we loved it because we had no idea how funny. I mean, it's basically a comedy.
Did you learn the new expression "suck face," or did you already know that one?
I had not heard that expression prior to that
Suck face?
film.
Yeah, well,
but
so
it's a
big
very, very funny movie, and we actually really enjoyed it. We had no idea that there was that much humor in it.
It's good writing.
Yeah.
The man's a great writer. He writes the human condition really well.
Yeah.
I've worked on a couple of his films. He lives in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Ernest Thompson.
Okay.
He won the Oscar for the
Yeah. Well deserved.
screenplay.
A lot of profanity in it too. So my friend Billy and I, again,
Well,
we were just young males. We enjoyed that.
Yeah, that works. Adolescence, that works out pretty well. So, but the point is that so that happened, and that happened a while ago.
Yeah.
But it still represents some equity for the tourist industry.
Yeah.
And also just for the reputation and the image of the state. So how is it that syndrome wouldn't happen again? We
Right.
can't replicate that. Jumanji was shot, believe it or not.
Keene.
That
In
was
Keene.
Keene,
Yeah. So, look, man, all over the country this
I
is
didn't
happening.
think that would keep people away from Keene with all those wild animals and stuff running around.
Yeah, it looks
Oh,
very
no.
It is
dangerous.
dangerous.
Well, it already had the wild animals because, have you been?
Oh yeah, that's
That's
a good
true.
point.
Been
Yeah,
at
that's
that
why
school at Keene.
I think it was that Jumanji that made it so they canceled the Pumpkin Festival.
That's right. I think you're right, Gary.
What's it?
They had to. Yeah. Yeah.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll go with that.
You will?
Last time I checked, I thought it was. I thought people got a little rowdy at the Pumpkin Festival maybe a year or two ago.
Well, who wouldn't with all those animals
Yeah,
running around?
exactly. If
Yeah.
you got
That's exactly right.
rhinoceroses and
This whole time I thought it was a metaphor for
No.
Keene State students.
No. Oh, could have been.
Wow.
Could have been
okay.
that too. It could be. But the two positions aren't mutually exclusive.
That's right.
Y'all are both giving me the straight man face, so I'm going to have to believe you.
We are both very straight, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Contrary to rumors.
You're,
Yeah.
you're sitting a little close there.
Yeah.
Well, Gary's a very attractive man, but we're both secure enough in our heterosexuality and our masculinity that we can sit close.
He's a thespian.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm quite a thespian. I am.
Oh my.
I am. But you
Right.
seem
He's a
adamant
master
about
thespian.
that.
What's that?
Thou dost protest too loudly.
Right. Well,
Dialogue.
you remembered that.
Where are we going with this, man?
No, we're not going anywhere. Hey, what movies you been in?
My mother's been telling me that for years, brother. You got to help me.
What movies have you been in?
It's a bit of a list. I'm not. I'm taking the slow boat to China, to borrow a phrase, in terms
That's an
of.
old movie. That's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
You-
taking
what
a
were you,
real
like one?
slow approach to my, 30-year-long overnight stardom. And if it never arrives, I'm fine with that because I'm
You have
sticking
fun
local.
doing it.
I'm sticking around local. I'm doing a lot of movies that are independent films
Yeah.
and some TV shows that I've produced and been in, and a bunch of web series. And I love the work, and I love my home here in New Hampshire. I've got family here. I've lived here for a long time. I do travel to other cities to do jobs
Yeah.
that appeal to me. I'll audition for something if it really speaks to me.
Yeah.
But, I'm not chasing that brass ring by moving to New York and eating macaroni and cheese and parking cars for a living, in the event that I get discovered or something.
Right,
or
right,
LA
right,
or
right.
whatever. Could I do that? Could I have done that? Sure, but I chose not to. And so I'm doing it on my terms. If that means that I keep contributing to the richness of our cultural heritage or whatever you want to call it by sticking around, fine. That's fine with me.
Right.
So I've got a long IMDb page, internetmoviedatabase.com, and it lists.
That was a pretty good acronym right there. I
Yeah.
like that.
It is.
I
Yes.
just made that up. And it sounds legit.
That's legit.
So I've got that stuff, and that's great, and I love to do it, and I'm going to keep doing it. But I don't feel the drive to run away to the big city and say, "Hey, pick me," make
Yeah,
me
yeah.
the next big thing.
Is that kind of something you almost have to do when you're wicked young and super idealistic and willing to live on ramen noodles?
Nothing to lose. And,
I would say yes, but you'd be amazed at what people will do when they get stars in their eyes.
yeah.
Because I
Of
remember,
all ages, I've
Yeah.
seen it.
I
I've
believe
seen
it.
it.
Yeah.
because the Chateau de Ville in it's another French thing I know.
Ooh,
Yeah.
very French today. Yes.
Yes.
He is. Somebody's got to gargle for him.
And I think it's in Fitchburg, Mass. And that I went as a in high school. We went with the theater teacher or something to Man from La Mancha. We're talking to the actors afterwards. They let us
Yeah.
talk to them. They said you have to do this because you love it because there's no money in it. I mean,
You just barely get by.
yeah,
And I'm talking about 90%.
yeah,
80% of the people that are doing it full time are just barely getting by. They have to do other things to get by.
Yeah.
right.
They really do. Or they have to get subsidized somehow. Maybe they've got a generous relative, or who knows.
Yeah.
And then the next 10% are doing okay, and the top 10% are doing very well, and those are the household names.
right.
Actually,
right.
only the top 5% are the household names. So if fame is your drug of choice, good luck. You may never get a fix.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people, that's what they're after.
Yeah.
The money comes with it, perhaps, but
Is it really? I would think you'd have to love acting and being in that environment. To,
what I'm saying is that the vast majority of the people doing it do, and they have to because you're never going to be
yeah,
that
your
name.
odds.
Your
are-
odds are infinitesimal,
Right, right.
astronomical, whatever it is.
A
So
large number.
yeah, big.
Well, yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
took numbers and you get large ones.
Right. Yes.
That's one of
Exactly.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I get syllable drunk, I got to look to you, man, because
Right.
you
Yeah.
just say say big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm much articulate.
You are muchly.
Yeah,
You talk wicked good.
I'm wicked.
talks
Yeah,
wicked good.
Exactly.
So yeah, man, it's a great calling if you have artistic tendencies. I do. Quite a flake. Still play guitar, still sing, still do all that stuff, but I love the stage, and I love doing Shakespeare, and I love doing all the stuff I've done locally for a lot of years.
Okay.
So I'm going to keep doing it. And I've got a bunch of irons in the fire. I've got one film in post-production that I directed a couple of years ago. So I've been kind of going light on post-production activity with that because I was in the legislature learning a brand new job. And
Pretty cool job.
it's a cool job, and serving the people, and helping to abolish bad laws, and perhaps make up a couple of good new ones.
Right.
So I'm getting back to that stuff now. I ran for re-election, didn't make it by a very slim margin.
You're in Nashua, right?
I'm in Nashua. Yeah.
That's a tough cotton picking gig.
Yeah. I live in a district which is in the western portion of Nashua that could be described when thinking about blue versus red as a purple district.
Okay.
Definitely purple district. And it seesaws barely in both directions, depending on the year.
Yeah, like when it's not a presidential year, it probably goes Republican. And
Yeah.
when it's a president year, it goes Democrat.
It tends to be the pattern, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on. And I'm fine with it because, look, there's a lot of ways to serve your fellow citizens.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of ways to give back. You can go work at the soup kitchen.
Yeah.
You know, you can do all kinds of stuff if you really feel the drive to that civic conscience to give back. So go ahead and do that if that's what's in you.
Yeah.
And I plan to continue doing that in various different ways. But it's just nice that you know, I've had my time in the legislature for a little while and made what difference I could. I can refocus and recalibrate a little bit on my artistic endeavors because I really care about them and I really like to tell stories. So I'm going to do a lot of that. I'm going to have fun with it.
What was the biggest takeaway you got from the legislature? What kind of things did you learn? Because I mean, I know that I came at it from a completely different angle. I was a tool and die maker machinist.
Okay.
You know, I cut metal.
Yeah.
I take big chunks of metal and I made them small chunks of metal.
Sure.
And there's chips all over the floor when I was done. That's all I knew. I didn't care. You know, you take a blueprint and you just cut away everything that isn't on the blueprint.
Yeah.
And I just remember my first. I kind of felt empathy or sympathy for Donald Trump when he went to on the Thursday after the election. He went over to speak with Obama.
Right.
And all I could think of is it's obviously much smaller scale, of when I first got elected and going, oh crap, now what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I remember sitting in the legislature the first time getting sworn in.
These giant oil paintings
Yes,
looming over you of our
looming
founding
over you.
fathers.
It's like,
Yeah.
you're sitting there, you just, wow, this is,
Yeah.
it's, so what was your, I don't know, what was your, you must have learned a boatload.
I learned a boatload because, as you may have noticed, I became very active.
Yeah.
You know, it might have been a bit ill-advised because, you know, I was a new kid.
Yeah.
So it's like that pain-in-the-butt freshman that shows up, you know, in school and thinks that they're going to do everything.
Right.
Right.
You're going
And
to take over.
They're fearless and they're going to get
Right,
involved,
right.
and they're mostly underfoot. But you know, you you respect their moxie. And you just,
Right,
you
right,
just sit
yeah.
down and learn something, will you? So, but I did go. I admit, I went in with an agenda, and I just described that.
Part
The
of that-
only agenda I had, other than protecting liberty and protecting the state constitution, you know, from bad legislation,
Right.
was I wanted to promote the industry that I care about because I feel that New Hampshire could benefit from embracing it, the professional end of it,
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
You know, money, reputation, all that stuff. So that was my little jihad. But my takeaway is interesting because it's the same takeaway that.
What would be the judge of that?
Yeah.
Yes. We are the arbiters of such
Whether or
things.
not-
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Keep that in mind.
I'm glad to have that Greek chorus at my left shoulder. That's good to know. A lot of comfort.
Sorry. Anyway.
My takeaway is that it's still a room full of people, and it doesn't matter what their resume says, or their individual skills, or what their estimation of themselves may happen to be. And a lot of people their
They
view
got
of
a pretty
themselves
high
is
estimate.
pretty high. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and others maybe not so much, but it's still a room full of people, and people do what people do. You know, anthropology doesn't change. So
Right.
you show up there, you make alliances, and that doesn't mean you're manipulating people. It just means you're fertilizing, so you
Right.
can grow stuff. And if you fertilize carefully and respectfully, later when you need to grow something over there, then you've got a receptive audience.
Yeah.
Is
Right.
what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's. I noticed there was. I'm not going to mention any names because I don't like doing that. But there was a legislator from Manchester who was very articulate, very bright, but he did absolutely zero of what you're talking about, which is just to try to form friendships so that
Yeah.
when you're trying to do something, you have allies or people that will at least listen to you because they're not angry at you from the get-go.
Right.
You
You're
know,
not
which is
aggravated with
which is completely unproductive. Lacking in.
We all know what you're talking
know.
about. But
You're
yeah.
marching around with a bunch of hubris, and your proctologist can't find your head.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, and everybody knows it.
Right,
and,
right.
You know, yeah, I can say that on TV. Well, I just did.
Proctologist? I think
Yeah,
so.
you
I
can
can
say,
say proctologist. Head?
yeah, I
I
think
can say
so.
that too.
Oh, yeah, I
Okay,
think
all
so,
right,
yeah.
okay,
I hope so.
all right, just
You're
checking.
talking about people with cranial retinitis.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
What does that sound?
He's back on. He's playing
Apparently.
on again at the Vita.
Yes, well, it's still going.
Oh, it's still playing.
It's still playing.
That's
Wow.
great.
That's
17
great.
minutes, man. We gotta
We get to the
ride
drum
this
solo
pony.
yet?
No, we haven't get to the drum solo yet. It's just about to start, though.
Sure. I mean, you treat people right, and you know, you're there to sell ideas and figure out if the ideas other people are selling are worth buying.
Right.
And that's why it's a citizen legislature. We only.
But
get-
isn't it cool? Like when you went into, like the first. For those people who don't know, on Wednesday is typically the day the House gets together and everything goes through committee. So you have to learn a lot about some bills in committee, and then on a Wednesday you come together and there's 60 bills that you have to be familiar with and subjects you have to be familiar with and understand how people are voting and why they're voting and what you're going to do in response.
Yep.
And it's just so much to learn. It's really cool.
It's kind of like a game show. I mean, you got this job to be to be an idea mechanic, and then this episode we've put 60 different, completely unrelated cars behind that curtain, and this guy's got to figure out how to fix every transmission. Wink, wink. Not all the parts are there. Let's have fun and gavel.
Right, exactly.
And we're in,
Yeah.
So, you do your best. You do all the reading you can. I like to read.
Right.
So I try to show up prepared.
Right.
And there's different special interest organizations, as you know,
Yeah.
that rate the bills and give opinions. And they hand out sheets to help, sway people's votes or at least inform them so that they can vote in accordance with the agenda if you agree with that agenda.
Yeah, I used
So-
to aggravate people because when I was first in the House, I was working full time.
Yeah.
So I come in there, and sometimes I was not as prepared as you were, and
I wasn't always prepared.
and
Sure.
and so I would take the HRA list or recommendations, the pink sheet,
Sure.
and I would always call it legislating for dummies, because
Pretty much.
pretty much
It's a cheat sheet.
cheat sheet.
Yeah. Yeah, but in its defense and in the defense of the organizations that take the time and have the initiative to put this stuff together for the legislators, they do a lot of homework.
Yeah, they do.
And some of them take votes in a democratic way to figure out what their position is as a group on these things. And then they publish it and give it out.
Yeah, it's really
So-
good. It was really good for me, the HRA specifically, because, like, what committee were you on?
State federal relations
Okay,
and
so you were on
Veterans Affairs.
state federal relations and veterans affairs.
Yes.
So somebody like you would be a member of the HRA, and a bill would come in, and you'd write down kind of like a blurb or a description of what the bill was and what your recommendation is. But you were there for all the hearings, whereas I'm over on judiciary. I can't be everywhere at once.
Yeah.
So you've heard all the arguments. So having somebody that you know is conservative on that committee that has actually seen and listened to the arguments is really, really helpful.
Yep. Which goes back to the whole relationship building theme, right? But that's, I mean, you're taking it a step further and you're thinking very strategically. That's a great strategy. You get to know people in the right places who can give you the brass tacks that you need to go do your job right.
Right.
Otherwise you don't have
Strategery. We call it strategery.
Yes.
skullduggery.
Skullduggery.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Arr.
Arr.
Are there pirates there?
Yes.
All the time.
All
Oh,
the time.
I didn't
All the
realize.
time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
They
yes.
were eye
They're,
patch?
they're the ones with the really pretty ties.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Pretty ties.
Understood.
And the
Yes.
haircuts that are just perfect.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes. They catch you off guard.
Yeah.
It's the sneak attack kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Well,
Yes.
those are definitely the pirates.
Right.
They're everywhere. So yeah, it was other takeaways that I have are that legislating is hard because it should be. Because when you're participating in making public policy for lots and lots of your neighbors who you don't know, it shouldn't be easy.
Right.
Because misguided people can get things done and create policy that other folks have to obey that can alter the course of their lives. So it shouldn't be easy. There should be a lot of filters, and that's the way the founders set it up. And that's the way a republic should work and the democratic process should work, is there should be a ton of filters and a ton of ways to derail a bad idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of good ideas get turned into bad ideas in the process,
Yes.
which
yes,
is
yes.
a liability, but that's, I guess, comes with the territory.
Yeah, you can have a bill. You can introduce a bill in the House that is to make sure that all the children in New Hampshire get candy. It'll end up as all the children in the state get arsenic, and it'll still have your name on it. Because there's
Exactly.
once you put your name on it, once you've signed off on it and it goes to committee, it's not yours anymore.
That's right.
You have very little to say. What they do with it is completely up to the committee and then the House.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that speaks to the question of whether or not are you doing the job as a part-time job because you like the title, or you like the badge, or whatever. And
Badges.
we don't need
Badges?
We don't need no stinking badges.
some people don't need no stinking badges, but I like my badge. It's a nice badge. It's shiny.
I still got my badge.
Your badge will blind you, man. So there's that little ego trip, and that, I mean, you're going to find that in any crowded room, a few egos, but you go there to get things done carefully, and in hopes that you don't muck it up, right?
Do no harm.
Do no harm.
It's like a doctor. You get that fundamental principle. Whatever you do, make sure you don't do any harm.
Yeah.
And that's Article Part 2, Article 5 of the New Hampshire Constitution says wholesome laws. We're supposed to pass wholesome laws, and that's the whole idea. Is it's supposed to be beneficial to society, not beneficial to some group.
Some special group.
Some special group and we do that periodically, and it really is upsetting to me.
Right.
Because somebody's got better connections than the general public, or the better lobbyists.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I saw a lot of that activity. You've seen a lot of it. Another reason I like this really weird version of a state legislature that we in New Hampshire have, and I use the word weird respectfully, but also I'm amused by how well a room full of 400 people can get things done. Astonished and amused.
It is pretty crazy.
But I like the fact that there's that many people, because it kind of insulates us from being significant in the eyes of a lot of the lobbyists who lurk
Tirelessly.
in wait for the senators, of which there are only, 24, 28?
Yeah.
The New Hampshire
I should
House
know
is-
that number, forgive me.
What is it, the fourth largest elected legislative
We are the
body in
third
world?
largest
Third?
English-speaking parliamentarian lawmaking body on the planet.
Wow, okay.
India would be ahead of us,
Yeah,
but they don't only speak English exclusively.
Right.
They mostly do.
right. All right.
So,
Yeah.
so we're third.
Okay.
And little New Hampshire,
Yeah,
right, behind Parliament
yeah.
and Congress.
Right.
So what's that tell you? We're this weird anachronism
Yeah,
held over from some tradition that nobody wants to dispense of. But in a way, it's a good thing. We don't get paid a lot, next to nothing, for the amount of time we put in.
Right.
But that means you don't. This isn't a case of you getting what you pay for,
right.
because
Yeah.
we know how that turns out.
Yeah.
This is a case of people that are willing to go and do this, do it because, number one, they somehow can afford to do it, or barely,
Yeah.
but primarily because they want to do it.
There's a lot of retirees, right?
There's a lot of
I mean,
retirees because they can afford to do it.
Right,
They don't
right.
have to go to a job.
Yeah.
So what's my excuse? I have no idea. Refer back to flaky artist.
Right.
But we're there because we want to be there, because we've got the head and heart that drive us to try to make a difference. May sound Pollyannish, I guess. But
All right. I gotta back up here. I keep hearing that term, Pollyannish, and I don't know where it comes from. I know what it means, so I've seen it, heard it used enough, but I
Yeah.
don't know what it means. I don't know what is the. I should look it up, but I didn't.
It's a movie, right? Pollyanna.
there was a parrot
Those are
reference, but
crickets.
it really
That's a
didn't go
cricket
over real well.
I wish
So-
I wish I had the.
Yeah, that's a cricket
I
moment.
don't have the cricket button handy. I left it in the other
You
room.
should
Yeah.
get it on here.
I
Yeah,
know.
note to
that's a good idea.
studio. We need a
Okay,
cricket sound
where is
effect.
it?
Oh,
I have it.
Go ahead.
A Pollyanna is an excessively cheerful or optimistic person.
ah,
There you go.
Oh,
very good.
then I guess I did know what it meant.
But the origins still remain unclear.
Oh, yeah.
So
Where's
I
the
just
origin?
happen to have that too.
Ah,
Okay,
here
go
we
ahead,
go.
go for it,
The
go for it.
voice of-
Early 20th century, the name of the optimistic heroine created by Eleanor Hodgman Porter, an American author of children's stories.
Ah, okay.
Oh.
Pollyanna is a children's story based
Oh.
on an optimistic, annoying person.
Oh, very good. Okay.
That's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Polly was a parrot.
Ah,
So I wasn't too far afield.
I wasn't sure what was going on there. I thought maybe you had Tourette's.
Dangerously, I do.
Oh.
Dangerously, annoyingly optimistic Tourette's sufferer.
Ah, yes.
Sir.
Pollyanna may have been an optimistic parent.
Yes. Okay.
In the story,
In the particular story, was
I don't
was the
know.
parrot annoying?
Well, parrots generally.
Or it was that
how's
synonymous?
a
Yeah.
parrot optimistic?
How's a parrot optimistic?
We can train a parrot to say optimistic things.
Optimistic things.
See?
See, that's annoying.
Right.
Okay.
That is really annoying.
Right,
Yeah,
that's
Good
settled.
point, good point.
Yeah.
Anyway, can we move on?
Can we?
I don't think so.
We just can't get
You
past
guys are
this.
still sitting real close, reaching for the hand grenade.
I showered. I used deodorant. Of course,
Yeah, I didn't.
right. But I
He's
did.
got
So
nasal
that-
congestion, so it's okay.
exactly. I can't smell a
that.
thing.
Very
Right.
metrosensual.
Yes.
Metro
thank you.
what?
Nothing.
Metrosexual
I'm not making up nothing over
or
here.
sexual?
I think it's metrosexual.
I know it is, but I just sort of,
Yeah.
What's metrosexual
I
then?
don't know. I think I just revealed something that I meant to keep inside.
Oh my goodness. A lot of guests come on here and do that.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do. They do. We bring out the worst in everybody.
Yes.
Everybody.
It's wonderful.
It is awesome.
Someone has to.
Someone's got to do it.
Why
There you
not
go.
us?
Because
All right.
normal shows actually
He's
ask
still
legitimate
favoring that
questions.
hand grenade.
I
I
can't
did
help
notice.
it. I like it.
Is this the baseball one?
Yes.
Is that
that's
because
the,
it's so
that's the Vietnam
because it's round?
era. Vietnam era.
Yes.
That is bloody frightening. I carried it down the hallway just for you eager listeners and viewers to know. To bring it to Gary here because he had forgotten it in the green room where we were yucking it up before the show. And not knowing whether or not it was actually a live grenade, not ready to go off, but able to. And
it?
not having much experience in the past with grenades,
You didn't?
I actually did get that strange tingling feeling of what if.
Right.
That 1 in a million chance that now is the time.
It's exhilarating, isn't it?
It was. I mentioned the tingle in my foot and it made somebody laugh. I don't know what.
Yeah, that's because I thought of Chris Matthews when Obama got elected.
Oh, the thrill up his leg.
Thrill
Yes.
up.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
That's a great quote. To be remembered for something like that. Your entire legacy condensed into one
Exactly.
tingling leg moment.
Especially when he's supposed
Yeah.
to be like an impartial reporter.
Well, no.
Yes!
He's not supposed to be
I
impartial.
think so. He's supposed
No,
to be
no,
a news
no.
reporter, isn't he? Or
No.
is he
No, he's a commentator. He's,
Oh,
he's,
okay,
he's
okay.
openly.
Oh, he's
okay.
definitely commentating. But I will say, in his defense, I don't share his politics, but at the same time, I admire his service to the business of journalism, even though journalism has gone far afield from literal journalism, we can all agree, but also just to his enthusiasm for the American experiment. I like Chris Matthews because he's for real. A lot of people, again, disagree with what he has to say and
Right.
his take on things, and I do too, oftentimes.
Yeah.
But I just like the guy.
I'm with you. I've always liked him.
I've seen him live. He's come for certain politically oriented events as a
Yeah.
guest speaker here
Yeah.
in New Hampshire. And I'm always interested in what he has to say because it gives me insights that I would otherwise not get.
Yeah. He's got a certain energy about him, too, that
Sure.
just kind of exudes that passion for, as you said, for I forget how you said it already, but
They
the way
just-
you said it
the-
was.
the-
We can look at the recording later.
I
and-
forget,
good.
I forget what I
forgot
said.
I forgot we recorded this.
I always
That's
forget
awesome.
what I said.
Yeah,
If
but it
somebody
was
says,
good.
I like what you say. Say it again. I can't. I can't.
How do you memorize dialogue?
You memorize it. You regurgitate it, like taking a test in school, and then it's done.
Oh,
Out it goes.
Yeah.
Every
Really?
soliloquy. You know how you talk to somebody else who's I don't know if you've experienced this. I have as an actor. And somebody says, "Oh, I'm an actor too," and then they start to quote something to demonstrate how astute they are and their powers of retention. And you're like, "Yeah, dude, I got nothing. All right,
Yeah.
I did the show. It was a good show. People liked it. It's over. Watch the tape."
Yeah, right. Yeah, I never understood. I was when my daughter was I don't know what age, 13, 14. She was trying out for different shows, and we all tried out for one show. She didn't get a part, and I got a part. So I wasn't going to do it if she's not going. But
Oh yeah.
I don't know how I would do it. I can't. My memory is so bad.
It's a tough skill.
It is a
It's
really
a tough skill.
I-
You get,
like, you know,
it's like
songs-
building muscle. You got to work it.
You
Yeah.
know, like songs that everybody can sing along with.
Yeah, sure.
I have to make up the words. I have no clue. I can get like
Really?
oh yeah. I get
like in a
one-
Garden of Eden and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I would have to do that because I would have no
Q song.
interesting.
cue song.
Come on, stay with me. Stay with me.
So
What about even with like Zeppelin, which you love? You must have
Come
a memory
on.
for some of that.
nope, I
Come
can't
on,
remember.
pick a song.
Wow, that's interesting.
Whip it.
Whip it good.
There you
There
go.
you go.
See? You're there.
Yeah.
If you're driving in your car, you must whip it.
If a problem,
Comes along, you can whip it.
You must whip it.
You must whip it.
Yes.
when something's going,
Wrong. You should whip it.
You must whip it.
It must whip
I
it.
Now-
think it's always must. There we go.
thank you. Here we go. Wait.
This is the
That's
first.
how you got to do. Oh damn! I'm gonna lip sync. I pulled a Milli Vanilli. Told you I was there.
Yeah.
They were very good at.
Yeah. The
Milli
choreography.
Vanilli was pretty funny 'cause he did such a good job. And then people found out it was all a hoax, and it was like.
But they were
wow.
pretty.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
they were
They're
cute.
pretty.
Very cute.
So people were digging on the pretty. It's called show business for a reason.
That's
Oh
right.
yeah, it is. It's like the wasn't the oh gosh, now I'm gonna forget the name. What was the show of the young kids? It was like during the time of the Beatles. They had this was like-
Monkees?
the Monkees.
Yeah.
That was all fake, right? Originally.
Originally.
Yeah. And the
But one of my favorite albums, literally, music, quality, creativity, the whole thing,
Yeah.
from the 60s is the, I was going to say Beatles, is the Monkees album called Head, which I've just learned recently I can say on television.
yes.
So, which is very good.
Yes.
It literally, they wrote all the songs, produced,
Yeah.
They did.
they
Just to prove they could do it.
and they
basically, yeah.
played all the instruments. It was their album,
Yeah.
and it was one of the coolest psychedelic albums that came out of that time period.
Yeah.
I don't think I even know it.
Yeah, look it up,
Yeah.
Oh no way.
download it or whatever. Yeah,
That's pretty cool. He's gonna start playing music if we keep talking like this.
yeah, man, it's a good album.
So what are you gonna do next? Well, no. What is there anything you want to impart to people that might think of running for office?
Well, yeah, thank yourself that you didn't do it this time, because this was the weirdest electoral cycle I've ever seen in my
Isn't
whole
that
bloody
strange?
lifetime. And you saved yourself a lot of aggravation and a lot of getting categorized and pigeonholed unfairly by people who were judging you according to the party that you had signed on to. Because let's
yeah.
face it, top ticket in both parties was the most confusing nightmare that I can remember.
Yeah.
And I've been into armchair politics, kind of self-proclaimed wonk, because I live in New Hampshire.
Right.
We can do that.
Right.
You know, we have the primaries every 4 years and all that. And man, just thank yourself, congratulate yourself that you didn't do it this time. But it buys you another 2 years to think about what you really want to get done. And if that fire still remains in your belly, then you got to go about it in an organized way. Get in touch with your state reps, ask questions, and find out, or your state senators, whatever it is you're looking to do, and find out what they would do if they wanted to accomplish what you hope to accomplish. If you want to change a law, eliminate one, or add new policy, ask them for some pointers, and then find out which committee that kind of idea would get referred to if it were a bill. Now get in touch with those reps. You're a New Hampshire citizen. That makes them your rep, even if you're out of their district. So educate yourself a little bit about the legislative process, and take it from there. If getting elected is not your thing, but just being active in the whole mess is your thing, find out a way to be effective. I mean, it doesn't take a masochist, and it doesn't take a born politician or somebody who talks good to go and make change. It just takes somebody with enough fire in their belly and enough motivation to reach out. So, those are your first steps.
Yeah, the other thing...
That's how I see it.
Yeah, the other thing you can do is if there's a particular subject matter that you're very passionate about, like if you're really... the thing that floats your boat is the Second Amendment, you can also get involved in groups like Go
Sure.
New Hampshire, and and this is something I think everybody should do at least once. But we'll use Go New Hampshire as the example. If you get involved with them, they'll send you emails, or they should send you emails when bills are being heard in committee.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, sure.
Okay? And going up to the legislature when that bill's being heard is just an experience in and of itself. The access you have in New Hampshire is amazing.
It's ridiculous.
It's
You
crazy.
Just consider yourself blessed to be here in New Hampshire.
It is. It's really cool.
Because this process is more wide open in this than in all of the other 49 states, without a doubt.
Oh,
And
yeah.
just like Representative Hopper said, you're our boss. So you have access to us, and you have access to the chambers where decisions get made. And they're not far. Everybody can drive anywhere in New Hampshire within 2.5 hours, essentially. So that level of access is uncanny. And in most parts of the political system around the country, that kind of access would cost you a lot of money
Right.
to gain and a lot more time to acquire. So use it. If something's bugging you, use it. And reach out to groups, just like you said. If the second's your thing, that's fine.
That's what motivated you, right? Haven't you said
That
that
was
to
one
us?
of the big ones. I saw the Second Amendment slowly being, like I first got
Eroded,
elected in
yeah.
2000, and it was just constantly being eroded. And the part that bothered me is the news media was almost universally, when they would talk about it, they would say, well, you don't need those kind of guns for hunting. Well, I knew that hunting and the Second Amendment are not related. You can hunt with a stick. It's got nothing to do with hunting, but that's what that was their mantra, to try to kind of, mellow people into believing that somehow the Second Amendment
That's true.
is about hunting.
And it's not about what's an assault object and what isn't. This is an assault object.
Oh, yeah.
That's intimidating.
You could pierce somebody's
It's
heart
the way
with
I
that.
presented it. See?
Yes.
Yeah, and that is too.
Yeah.
So is that microphone, depending on
No,
how
it's
you...
a kinder, gentler hand grenade, actually.
It's round. It's got
Yeah, I
nice
could put a smiley face on it so
curves.
people aren't
That's right.
intimidated.
that'd be
Have a
fun.
nice day on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. But yeah, but you're right. Yeah, I love how people parse their interpretation of what constitutes a legitimate thing that you can have and what isn't.
Right.
When it comes to that, the second argument.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other causes and a lot of other issues that are important. We just had a big election. People are concerned about two things: ballot access and electoral fraud. Electoral reform.
Right.
Right. So if you're concerned about it, get involved.
Right.
Go to the super tubes, the interwebs, and find out who's out there in the state that's active with this stuff and get involved.
That's a good thing you brought that up, because people, there's a lot of conversation on news media about getting rid of the Electoral College.
Yeah, and there is every 4 years too.
There is,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
And then
when
suddenly it
Republicans
goes
win,
away
it's a
in
big
2
deal.
weeks, and everyone forgets, like goldfish.
Yeah. But what I try to convey to people is that the election, it is the states that elect a president, not the popular vote.
Thank you.
The states, when the Constitution was written, it was the states that wanted to maintain a certain amount of autonomy and power over the federal government. The states are supposed to be one of the safety nets to keep the federal government from becoming too powerful.
Exactly.
And the reason, like New Hampshire has 4 electors, is because it has 2 senators. Every state gets 2 electors. So every state has a say in who becomes the United States president. And we get 2 because of population. So it's very important for people to try to remember that if we went to a popular vote, there would never be a presidential candidate who had any common sense that ever stepped foot in the state of New Hampshire. There would be no point.
Or in any of the so-called flyover states.
Yes, yeah, nobody would go to Montana, Ohio probably, but not Idaho or.
There'd be no need.
It would be pointless. You would be in New York, Florida, maybe Massachusetts, California.
Where the biggest population centers are. In other words,
That's all you would be doing. So instead of having a republic, you would basically be going to a democracy. And what happened to the Greek democracy?
Collapsed under its own weight and its own corruption and venality. Yeah, just couldn't sustain itself. Besides which, we don't live in, and a lot of people take me to task for this, but we don't live in a democracy. Newsflash, we live in a republic. And in a republic, the difference between that and living in something called a democracy is that in a democracy, when 51% of the people vote for something, that's the way it is. That becomes policy, even if, and the other 49% have to live with it, even if it was a bad idea. In a republic, you're protected from the majority if the majority has a bad idea that they vote into passage.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So the big difference is that in a republic, individual autonomy and individual rights supersede the
Right.
will of the majority at every turn.
It's only because we're in a republic. It's being in a republic protects people who are like, thespians.
That's right.
Right. Hey,
Because
we got to
they're
wrap it up.
They're
Eric.
crafty dudes.
Yes, I know.
Thespians.
Yeah.
You never know what they're going to say.
No, you can't.
No.
You
Even
can't possibly.
when they're wrong, which they usually are.
Right. Eric, thank you very much. You're
Good
an
to see you,
awesome
man.
guy.
Yeah, thanks, Eric.
Thanks a
We'll have to have you on again. Maybe we'll take something seriously next time.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Maybe.
So glad he
Maybe.
didn't set
Maybe
that thing
not.
off.
No promises.
Do I get a hand grenade?
Nope.
No, you don't get any.
I'm not qualified, am I?
No.
No, I
You're
wouldn't
not-
trust me with a hand
I
grenade.
can't really trust you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
See ya.